Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you my Techo Kaigi for the second half of 2025. So I included this traveler's notebook into my lineup. I was able to get my hands on it, so I'm really excited to show you this, but I will be saving this for the end of the video. So let's start with my Hobonichi cousin, because I think this notebook definitely has the largest change. Here's the new one. And then here is my first one for January through June. I have been using Hobonichi planners, Avec planners, whether A5 or A6, for 4 years now. This is my fourth year in this daily planner or journal as I use it. I know a lot of things in this planner that work really well for me, and there's a lot of things that I don't really use, like the monthlies. Um, and then there are some things that I have played around with, experimented with, and come to something that I really love and I don't want to lose. And then there's the issue of the daily pages. I kind of see the first portion of this book. This spread I really love. I use this as my workout tracker, and then I print a photo at the end of each month to like a highlight photo. And then on my weekly pages, I am going to do a separate video about this, so subscribe if you want to see that, where I go into detail about how I got my weeks to look the way that I like and what I'm doing here. But this has taken me a lot of trial and error to get here. So all through these pages, my system works very well, and I really love it. But in my daily pages, if I just flip through kind of briefly, you can see a lot of blank pages and half-finished pages, pages where I started and just didn't come back and finish. So what I started to realize, especially in these last few weeks, if I flip up here to June, you can see all these pages are blank. I'm working on this spread a little bit more, but pretty much from the 9th till the 24th, all blank. And obviously, like, I had a lot going on at this time. I can understand why these pages are blank, and I also don't like it. I've had these last few days where I didn't have anything going on, and I, set out to write about like this movie that I watched with my boyfriend, the food that we had, but I just could not write about it. I didn't want to write about it, which is the most important part. This is my hobby. This is something I am supposed to be taking a lot of joy in, but it just hasn't been enjoyable for me. So I was kind of panicking because these planners are expensive. I had good luck with the paper actually. It did bleed through on some pages, and it definitely isn't the same quality as the Tomoe River paper that I was longing for and that I buy Hobonichis for. There's not that waxiness on it, um, like previous versions of the Tomoe River paper, of course. I was lucky though. And so I began to wonder, like, what am I getting out of my planner and what do I want it to be giving me? So basically, what I came to is some kind of memory keeping, basic memory keeping, and then some kind of way to get my thoughts on the page. And then, which is something I feel like I've been missing out on, is the creativity aspect of it. I've been, like I said, in this layout for 4 years now, and I know what I like to do. I know how I like to add like titles. I know exactly like everything I like to do. And so it doesn't really feel creative for me in the same way it used to. And so I think that it's time for me to take a break from this system in particular. But of course, I still have the second half of the year in this book. And, I thought I could sell it. I thought I could give it to someone. Um, I could just leave it on the shelf and pick it up if I want it, or use the pages for something else, like the date's not there or whatever. But like I said earlier, I really love these front two setups that I have. It works really well, and I don't want to replicate it, especially when I have it right here. So what I decided to do, instead of buying something new, because I was thinking about buying an A6 because I was really consistent when I had an A6, and I loved that size. I loved how tiny it was. It was so fun and easy to fill. But I don't want to go back, like I said. I want to like move forward into something new. So what I'm going to do moving forward, so I don't lose the things I enjoy, is moving forward, I'm going to do some things exactly the same and some things very differently. So I'm going to use these pages exactly the same, the front pages and the weekly pages. I'm going to use exactly the way that I have been using it. My monthly pages, I am thinking of doing some kind of tracking here. I haven't entirely fleshed that out. I don't really care about the monthlies as much. If I don't use them, it isn't like the majority of the book. So I'm not worried about it. I'll figure something out. That's kind of where I'm at with it right now. So then I'm going to blur this so you can't read what I wrote. But on my daily pages, instead of using this as an art journal, I'm going to use this as a long form journal, as a morning pages type system where I just, first thing in the morning, I write the full page. Then I'm not thinking about it. Then I'm not trying to fit it in. It's just done. And I have the words down. And I never have to read them again. Or I can if I want to. Um, but I find this is a very rewarding way to process things. I've done morning pages in other books. I think I showed in my Techo Kaigi earlier in the year that I had a morning pages journal. But I think this is going to be a manageable way for me to approach morning pages. One A5 page, not too bad. And then if I decide I do want to go back to journaling in the way that I had been, I can still do that. I still have all these pages available to me. So I think that seems like a really good adjustment, a really clear-headed way of approaching the situation. And I'm excited to see what happens. So I am also interested to see the paper quality in this one. So this one I used my um, Kaweco Sport with I think this is a fine nib, and the ink that I used is Kaweco Royal Blue. And it didn't bleed through at all. There's no issues. So I'm interested to see if this paper quality is the same as my first one. I will use fountain pen. I'll use whatever pen I want, basically. Again, I'm not super worried about it looking nice at the end because I don't plan on sharing this, or, it's not a memory keeper anymore, so it isn't about being pretty. But I still can decorate, which is something I enjoy as well, if I feel like it. So that is how I am moving forward with my Hobonichi Techo. I thought about breaking up with her for a good while. um, but I think this is a good compromise. Then we have my A5, or sorry, my 5-year book. Um, I honestly have really neglected this, but with refocusing my priorities, I think it'll be more manageable for me to fit this in as well. So I'm going to pick back up with this. I can go back and rewrite some of these, but um, yeah, so this will be my primary memory keeper in terms of what happened. So I'm still having that daily memory keeping practice. It's just a lot smaller, which I think will be good. Um, and then I'll be able to do this last thing before bed. Because another thing I was noticing with my other A5 is that since it is this kind of like very fluid experience, I write when I can, and if I don't, I don't, and that's fine to a certain degree. But I found these large expanses of time when I didn't want to write a full A5 page, and it didn't fit into my schedule. So doing this and having at the end of the day, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to write what happened. And my new way of, filling the page in the morning sets these routines and these habits of journaling. So it's more straightforward um, of what information I'm collecting. I hope that makes sense. So my 5-year will be continuing, and I will be making more of a priority and focus on. So now it's time for my traveler's notebook. This is my first official TN, and I told myself a few weeks before I learned that this was released that if they ever come out with a red traveler's notebook, I'm gonna buy it. So I bought it. The charm I have on here is a Hobonichi charm, and it's very cute. So in here, I have 3 inserts. This one is a sticker release book from Mandy Lynn Plans in the week size, Hobonichi week size. So this doesn't really count, I guess, but it's in here. And then I have a junk journal that I'm going to use as a quotes book, I think. I think that'll be fun. And then this will be my journal, my general memory keeper. So like here, I printed off these pictures because I've been playing Elden Ring, and so I printed my outfits. And I'm just gonna like paste these in and write about that experience and how like I feel about that and everything. So I think this journal will be more specific, more over a period of time, what have I been enjoying instead of what am I enjoying today kind of mindset with it. And I can fill this however fast I want to, and it feels like such relief to have that. Um, and it's a nice small little book. So I'll get that satisfaction of filling it much sooner, I assume. I'll fill it pretty fast. And the insert is the MD cream paper. So that is how I'm going to be using this. And this one will probably be, or this one will definitely be featured on my channel. You will see a lot more of this little notebook. I can't forget, I have my Hobonichi weeks that is still going strong. I've been very consistent in this book, and I will continue to be. I love this little book. I love how little it is. I just love it. So I will continue to use this as my planner, the exact way that I've always used it. So that is my full Techo Kaigi for the second half of 2025. Thank you so much for watching this video. let me know your thoughts. Um, what are your experiences at this time of the year? I know a lot of people are making big changes and feeling anticipation for the Hobonichi release, which I'm a little apprehensive about. But yeah, thank you so much for watching.